We'll start on the quick game series now, or the 60 series if you want to use the numbering um, series stuff, especially if you're going to use the wristbands. I think numbers are probably the better way to go just because it takes less space in the cells of your wristbands. But if you want to just use pure signals and stuff, then just use the words, and I will go over both as we get into each individual play. But in the 60 series or the quick game series, um, you can do one of two things with the offensive line and their sets. In high school, I've always thought that having the two different sets was fine, and the offensive line would take a two-step set instead of the four-step set on the regular 90 series plays, which are deeper drop back plays. So, but you can do it one of two ways. Either you can do it the traditional way, where the O-line has a quick set, which is two steps, inside foot, outside foot, and then from there they set firm and move like they normally would at the end of a deeper set. You can make it a regular 90 set or a four-step set, which is what Tony does now, and he only teaches one set. But that also changes. You know, your quarterback has to take a deeper drop now, and the routes have to be a little bit longer if you want everything to time up. So again, in high school, for an average arm or an average to below average quarterback, which many of us have, I suggest you use a two-step set and then a one-step drop by the quarterback. And then and again, the concepts can be referred to by using numbers or words. And then the first one that we will go over will be the out 63 or out, however you want to call it. And the progression on that is go, out, and check down, or spot route if you want to incorporate the spot route with the F, and I will show that to you as well. But here's what 63 looks like, or out, and the quarterback would read the go to the outside over here by the Z first if we were going to go 63 right, and we're going to determine the side that we want the quarterback to read. So the first read would be the go, which we would call that a mandatory outside release, or a go outside, or an MOR for mandatory outside release, however you want to refer to it on their wristband. But the point of it is that receiver has to go to the outside shoulder pad of the defender, whether he's a hard player or a soft player. If he's a hard player, he definitely has to go through the outside shoulder pad, and normally might have to even make contact through that outside pad with keeping a low pad level himself and running through that contact. But wants to turn that corner away from this out route that's coming to him. So definitely have to on the release want to release to the outside, cannot go to the inside, and need to go through the outside pad. Then work to get back up on top of the numbers and restack that corner or the defender that has him on the outside. And then the next read will be the out route, which is if we're in the ace formation here, a 2x2 set, would be the inside receiver, and that is a 5-yard out route, and it can be a speed cut, which means it can be you can bend that route out on a speed cut. Still need to stem to the outside pad of that whole defender. Whether he has inside or outside leverage, still need to stem, which means break down his leverage, run right to him, right to his outside hip or outside shoulder pad, stem him, and then either bend it out, or if he's playing pure man and he's on your hip, then you would want to break it off more of a square route, and then work that route more downhill so that it can't be undercut than flat, but you never want to drift upfield like that. So always break it flat to downhill, and that's a 5-yard route. Now this is all based on taking a one-step drop by the quarterback and a two-step vertical set by the offensive line. If you wanted to go with the 90 set, then you would take a 3-step drop by the quarterback, then you would elongate this route by two more yards to 7 instead of 5. So anyway, you got to read the go outside, and then get back on top of the numbers. But the Z over here, the number 1 receiver, then number 2 has the 5-yard out route. And then the third read would be the check down by the F, and the technique by that for the F is He wants to check. It's a check release. He wants to check his blitz responsibility, and he wants to count 1,001, 1,002, and he wants to be slow and deliberate in his release because he wants to give these linebackers a chance to drop or at least show their hand on exactly what's going to happen. So by giving him 2 seconds before he runs this route, it enables him to find out exactly what this linebacker that's responsible for him is going to do. If he drops into coverage, then that's great. He finds a hole somewhere. He finds grass somewhere in the tackle box, and he sits in that grass somewhere between 1 and 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, and then always faces the quarterback. If while he's checking and he can tell that that linebacker is definitely spying him, is going to play man, then he would run what we would call a man route, and then at that point he would stem that linebacker here, and then just break down his leverage based on how the linebacker was playing. If he's playing more inside or outside leverage, if he's playing more inside leverage, he would stem him to the outside and then just break that route out and continue to run. Same thing if he had outside leverage, he would stem him and break it inside and continue to run as well. And again, he wants to stay flat. He doesn't want to drift upfield. So that's the check down. Now, what Tony has started doing in the last couple of years, which is a good idea, is make the F run a spot route, which the spot route's pretty simple. The hole player out here, the outside linebacker or safety, whoever is responsible for the flat or the hole in between the tackle and the furthest receiver, whoever's responsible for this hole in between there, is what he's going to run his route based off of. Now he does want to outside release this, and this can be a free or check release, which check release means he's going to check for blitz responsibility before he goes anywhere. Free release means he just goes right now. But either way, his aiming point is going to be basically he wants to go replace that hole player. So if the hole player is playing head up, leverage on this number 2 receiver here, then he would outside release this, run right to him, get a depth of 5 yards, and then turn and sit facing the quarterback. And what that does is it puts this hole player in a bind. Does he want to chase? Is he a flat defender? Does he need to chase the out route? Or is he going to try to sit and try to play between? So it puts him in a bind. It's basically a 2-on-1 on that hole player. So the spot route is a good addition to this if you want to do it. But again, traditionally it's just a check down or a spot, either way you want to do it. And then on the backside, or actually you could wind up having 2 check downs. But on the backside of this route, we have what we have on the backside of a lot of the quick game or 60s game is we'll have double slants. And the inside receiver, depending on your quarterback, Tony now at La Tech is a 1-step slant by the inside receiver. I don't recommend that in high school because if you got to have a lot of things happen perfectly to be able to throw a 1-step slant. One, you've got to have a good, crisp, firm snap that's in the right spot the majority of the time, and then you got to have a quarterback with big hands who can grip it, catch it, and throw it very quickly. So I suggest that you make both of these slants a 3-step slant, drive up 3, stem, stick, and then come inside, both the inside and outside. Now on the outside, guys have done a couple of different things, and it's definitely your preference. You can do a read slant, which is what we've got shown here. If the corner was to bail, play true cover 3 or cover 4, but definitely has a deep third or fourth, and is bailing on the snap, then the receiver just converts that into a hitch and just sits at 5 yards. If it's not, if you don't want to read it, or if you do read it and the corner plays hard or is playing man, then you would drive up as 3 steps or 5 yards and then break off the slant. What we've started doing now is always just run the slant and not read it anymore. And I think the best way to do this is to, if you have grass, if there is grass in here, and what I tell them is they're always going to run the slant. But if they have a lot of grass and it's not man, once he sticks his slant and he starts to break it in, he can just gear it down. It means he doesn't have to go full speed. He can just gear it down, which makes it an easier throw for the quarterback. And then obviously once he catches it, he wants to get straight up the field. Okay. So again, on the backside, you've got slants, 3-step slant or 1-step slant by the inside receiver. The other thing about the inside receiver slant, if he runs his slant He never wants to cross the center's face. So if he runs his slant, he peeks in at the quarterback on his cut. Quarterback's not looking at him right now. He gets into the tackle box. He finds grass. Just turn and turn that into a check down as well. Okay, so he never wants to. Those inside receivers never want to cross the center. Never want to cross the center's face on their slant. Okay, so the quarterback again is going to read the the mandatory outside release, go outside to the out route, to the check down or the spot, however you want to run that. And then you have another check down on the backside potentially if you want to read just the front side. Quarterback comes up. The one good thing about having the slants on the backside is if quarterback walks up and he's looking for grass always and trying to get a good pre-snap read, he always wants to read left to right deep, see what kind of grass is there, and then he wants to look left to right short and see what kind of grass he's got in here. Okay, on his pre-snap. So if this whole player is creeping up and he's on the line of scrimmage and he's showing an obvious blitz, safety still playing deep and he knows he's got grass right here, then he can completely bypass this front side right here and turn the back side into the front side and just catch the ball and throw to the slant. If he does decide that he likes the slant, even if he's got if he's got inside leverage here and maybe head up or soft coverage out here, and he likes this grass in here, he can just forget the front side of the concept and just purely work the back side or the slant. So they're both pre-snap reads, where the inside slant could turn into a check down and become the fourth read in the progression. Never wants to come back to that outside slant after going through the front side. Quarterback traditionally in the 60 game or quick game series will always wants to look the snap in. His heels are at 5 yards from the ball. Heels will be at 5 yard depth from the ball, from the line of scrimmage, and he would take a one-step drop on the quick game, get hot feet, have great ball placement, and then go through his read progression and then get the ball out. Again, if you want to teach the 90s drop or the full vertical set, the 4-step set by the O-line, where they're going to be at about 5 yards deep when they set, then the quarterback's going to have to take a 3-yard drop, and again, then all these routes become elongated. So your preference, I prefer in high school or younger, if you're going to be implementing this in your middle school or even at your lower level freshman teams or even at your youth league, I would go a one-step drop, quarterback catch, one-step drop, fire his feet, and go through his reads. So now we'll look at these plays. Here we've got an inside slant. Quarterback looks, he sees this grass right here. He likes that on pre-snap, so he's just going to catch, grip, fire his feet, and throw. Does a good job looking left and right, finding his grass on pre-snap. One-step drop, fire his feet, and throws the ball in there. As you can see, quarterback takes a one-step drop on this, gets great ball placement here. Ball's up at the throat right here. He's got his eyes on the target, got this front shoulder pointed right at his target right now, and fires his feet and makes a nice throw. You can see from the end zone view, again, he looks, he sees his grass, sees all this grass in here, and that's what he wants to attack right now. So again, good one-step drop, looks the ball all the way in, and then delivers a nice throw. Now we've got the mandatory outside release to the Z to the right side. As you can see, he's going to go through the outside pad, and really the main reason that he would look at this route is because he has press and feels like that the receiver can beat him off the line. And again, it'd be a one-step drop, read it real quickly. If he can beat him off the line right away, then go ahead and throw the ball up. Throw it to the outside shoulder. Again, he sees this grass back here. That's what he likes on pre-snap. One-step drop, fires the feet, gets the ball nice and high over the outside shoulder. And then we move on to the next read in the progression, which is the out. So again, the quarterback's going to read here. He's going to read this mandatory outside release go here. He doesn't like that because he's probably going to get soft coverage here once everything shakes out. Doesn't like the grass on the backside pre-snap. So he's going to go through his progression. He's going to read the go to the out. Again, you can see soft coverage here, so he doesn't like the go from the beginning. But again, this guy has to make this corner turn as he runs through. So you'll see, even though he bails with him, his eyes are inside, so he's still going to collision him and make him turn his back away from the receiver that's going to get the ball here running the lower route. Quarterback will look to snap in, take a one-step drop, takes a three-step drop, and they elongate the routes. Here you can see that this is when Tony has the O-line taking a full vertical set now. So the quarterback's taking a three-step drop. This is now a 7-yard out cut instead of a 5-yard out cut. Reads the go to the out, and then you can also see that there is a spot route here by the F. He's just going to replace this whole player right here. That's how the spot route works. But again, going to read the go to the out. Reads the go to the out, and the ball's out on the cut. Give him a chance to make a play up the sideline. Here we have a spot route by the F, and again, he's just going to replace this whole player right here. Again, I'm going to read the go to the out. Don't like the go, don't like the out. As you can see, the receiver here is dropping his shoulder and is still going to try to collision this corner and turn him away from the out route. Doesn't like the out route probably because he just doesn't have enough room really to fit it in here. He doesn't like that. Didn't like anything on the backside over there. But as you can see, this whole player now is in a bind. Does he want to cover the out? Does he have to go cover the out route, or is he going to try to sit on the spot route? And he chooses to go to the out route, leaving the spot route open. So again, you'll see, read the go to the out to the spot. And then the next play, get another spot route here. See, we got soft coverage on the go already, so he'll come off of the go very quickly. He does have some grass right here for the out if he likes it. This guy might just be a flat player and may just run there right away. Okay. He does chase the out route, so now that leaves the spot route open. Now we can do the same thing going to the left side. On the left side, we still have the mandatory outside release on the go. We still have the out route by the inside receiver. Still have check down or a spot route by the F. Then you have your one or your three-step slant by the inside receiver that he would turn into a check down if he doesn't get the ball right away. And then we have our three-step slant by the outside receiver. And here we have another inside slant. And on pre-snap, doesn't look like there's a lot of grass, but if he walks up and disappears, then there does become a lot of grass in there. And he does. Good thing about freeze plays a lot of times is you can see how those things are going to shake out. So again, the quarterback, one-step drop, fires his feet, and throws the slant. And you can see here, this was last year in 2010, and you can see that the inside receiver took a three-step slant route here, whereas in the new stuff from this year and some in some previous years, the inside receivers have taken a one-step slant. You can see he drives up three, sticks it, and breaks it inside. And see the quarterback again, look the ball in, one-step drop, fire his feet, and get the ball out quick. One step, fire the feet, and ball out on time. Here's an outside slant to the backside, and you can see there's a lot of grass right there. That's what he sees on pre-snap. One step drop, fire the feet, and as you can see this, you can watch the receiver. He knows he's got grass here, so you can see him just gear it down so he doesn't just run. He doesn't sprint right in here into a big hit from a safety or a linebacker, so you can see him gear it down after he sticks the top of the route. Sticks the route, kind of gears it down a little bit, is able to catch the ball, and then get straight up the field. Okay, and here we're going 63 left or out left. So now we're going to look for the go outside. Again, he may take a 1 or a 3-step drop. 1-step drop, gets the ball high and outside early. Again, got to get through the outside pad, and he does a good job. Like to see him get just a little bit lower, turn this guy, get on the outside pad, then lean back in on him, get back on the numbers, and give the quarterback all this room over here to throw into. Not bad. And you can watch the quarterback again, look the ball all the way in, 1-step drop, fire the feet, get the ball nice and high to the outside shoulder, and a nice play. Now we go to the out route. Again, this could be a 1 or a 3-step drop. Takes a 3-step drop, fires his feet, gets it out on the cut. And that's why you have to, if you're going to take the 3-step drop, you have to elongate this route so that the time's up, that the quarterback can get it out on the cut. Again, you can see the quarterback 1, 2, 3, fire his feet and get it out quickly. Again, I recommend with high school that you do it on a 1-step drop. Here we have the spot route again. Reads the go to the out to the spot. You can see that the hole player here chases the out route and opens this grass up for the spot. And notice that the back always turns to the quarterback. He doesn't ever turn away from the quarterback. Go out spot. Go out spot. Okay, now out of a 3x1 set, you can do a couple of different things. You can do it like this. Rules are the same here. Still a mandatory outside release. Still got to get through the outside pad, turn that corner, and then get back on the numbers. If you want to run the 2 goes to clear out for the out, same thing here. He still wants to go through the outside pad, work to stack that defender, and really wants to try to work more towards the hashes. And then the inside receiver here would run the out. The other thing you can do is run outs with both of these inside receivers. They can both run out, so you can have a double out here and got your outs go outside here, or your mandatory outside release, and have 2 outs. And then you can still run your spot route here if you like. Otherwise, you can have your spot route. Normal alignment for the F in a 3x1 is opposite of the trips. But if the play dictates, he can be to the side of the trips here. And again, he could run the spot route here, and it would still be the same read. You would still read go. You'd read the first out, second out to the spot, or in this case, you'd read go, out, check down here. Okay, and then again on the back side, we still have the 3-step slant. Again, you can run the read slant or just the regular slant, whichever one you prefer. Here we're going to throw the slant on pre-snap. As you can see, there's lots of grass in here on pre-snap. That's what the quarterback sees and what he likes. So he'll take a 1-step drop, fire his feet, and get the ball out quickly. And you can see here how he gears that down. He almost came to a stop. We don't want to see that, but he does gear it down. You can see he had soft coverage, so he just kind of gears that route down and then catches and gets straight up the field. Quarterback again, 1-step drop, fire the feet, get the ball out. Here we'll go to the go to the right side. Quarterback may take a 1 or a 3-step drop here. Takes a 1-step drop, fires the feet, gets the ball, throws the ball in the hole there. He saw a safety that can play over top. Saw a safety that can come play over top. Saw this hard corner that was facing inside, and that inside leverage felt like he was just going to play cover 2. So on the snap, he can just throw it right in the hole. If both of these are going to run vertical routes, both outside receivers are going to run vertical routes, he still needs to get through his outside pad and turn him. And as you can see here, we have both inside receivers running out cuts. So this number 2 receiver is going to stem this flat defender here to his outside and then turn him. And you can also see that we had the spot route to the same side here. So now we're going to throw to the out, the first out. So he's going to read the go to this out here. Okay, go to out. Again, got the back to the same side as the trips because we're going to run the spot route. Read the go to the first out. Like to see him turn and get straight up the field, but he does have some moves and can make people miss in space, so that works out well for them. Now we got the number 3 receiver on the out route, so we'll read the go to the first out to the second out. Go, out, out. Actually, we had wound up with 2 goes like the original drawing we showed. Got to go outside here, got to go outside here to clear out for this out route right here. The one thing you would like to see this guy, this number 2 receiver, the H here, what you'd like to see him do is kind of collision this outside pad here and to really turn this defender away from the out route coming to him. He gets a little too much space away from him. And then you can do what we call 63 double. Be an ace, run 63 double, have the same thing on both sides. Got mandatory outside release goes on both sides, and then you got out routes by both inside receivers on each side. And then you either, as a play caller, you can freeze this and decide to tell the quarterback which side to throw, or if you think your quarterback can read it himself, he can go up and again, he wants to look left to right deep and see if there's grass, and then he wants to look left and right shallow and see if there's grass, and or short and see if there's grass, and he can make that determination on his own. And then if you're a spot route runner, then just move the F to the side that you want to read first. So here we have a 63 double. The quarterback likes to go. He likes to go to the short side of the field on pre-snap. Takes a 1-step drop, fires his feet, and gets the ball nice and high. I think it gets tipped there. And then we go to the out. Read the go to the out. Doesn't like the go. Got plenty of grass on the out. Would like to see, again, you would like to see this receiver do what he can to get in here and try to turn this defender away from the out route so that he can't recover and make this play. Again, you'll watch the quarterback look the ball all the way in, take a 3-step drop, throw the out route. And then we have a check down. This is a regular check down here instead of the spot route. So the quarterback's going to read the go, out, and then he's going to read the check down. So he reads the go to the out. As you notice, the check down takes a little bit longer. The check down shows up about a yard or 2 across the line of scrimmage. And as you watch the quarterback, even in these drills in Skelly or 7-on-7, where you don't have a rush by the defensive line or don't have any blitzes coming, the quarterback's taught that after his second to third read, then he starts to move in the pocket anyway. So you'll notice the quarterback, even without pressure, he starts to move in the pocket, finds his check down, and gets it off to the check down. The other rule you always want to tell your quarterbacks is whenever they get in trouble, try to find the back. And so that's a good example of putting that to work in practice. Put the quarterback in a position where he felt like he was in trouble, and then he finds the back and dumps it off to him. And here's a spot route now. Same thing, spot route. So read the go, out, and then to the spot. And again, just drop step and get straight up field after the catch. You see the quarterback go, out, spot. One thing you would like to see this quarterback do on this throw, and we work on this in Noose Drill, which is in your team drill stuff. When he sees this defender coming here, he should throw this ball to this outside shoulder and turn this receiver away from that near defender and try to save him from a hit. Instead, as you can see, he throws him to the inside, and the receivers were taught to turn the way that the quarterback throws them. So when the quarterback throws him to this inside shoulder, his initial thought is to turn inside, but then he feels the pressure coming and is able to still avoid it. All right, the next part of the out concept is the rollout part of it. And rodeo and lasso, rodeo means roll out to the right, lasso means roll out to the left. So here we've got 63 rodeo or out rodeo, or rodeo out, however you want to describe it. But here, for our purposes, we'll call it 63 out. And you can do a couple of different things with this outside receiver. You can continue to run a go and have him run a mandatory outside release. You can run a curl with him at 10 to 12 yards. Run a curl like we've shown here, or you can even, and a lot of times it works better if you run a comeback and have him work back downhill towards the sideline, because that pulls this defender outside a little bit more and makes it just a little bit clearer picture in here for the quarterback. But either way, you can do a couple of different things with him. For right now, you'll see some goes and you'll see some curls. But anyway, we've got you got the curl, the outside receiver, you got the out route by the inside receiver, which just changes. It does change the depth a little bit. We want to go from a 5-yard out route to a 3-yard out route now, because he's the first read and the ball's going to come out quick if it's coming to him now. So anyway, the out route is the first read. Then the curl is the second read, and then we've got drags from the backside. So the inside receiver would run what we call a 2 to 6 drag. So he would basically just drag across the field, starting off at 2 yards, and when he gets to 6, he'll just level off. Okay, just level off. And then the backside is actually going to be more of a he runs a 2 to 12 yard drag. So he would start off at about 2 yards and drag across till he gets to about 12 yards deep, and then he would level off. The quarterback, the F, his job is to protect the edge. Okay, so the way I teach him is to look for any color, opposite color showing outside, unless he's got an obvious blitz or an obvious defender coming from the edge. He looks for any color showing outside of that tackle. He's going to help that tackle secure that, and then he just buzzes his feet and he works along the line of scrimmage and protects the edge for the quarterback there. Okay, the quarterback needs to know the offensive line is basically running stretch here, so they're going to reach, they're going to open, crossover, and reach here. If nothing's in their gap, then they'll hinge back and look for anything coming backside. But to begin with, there's nobody responsible for this backside defensive end. So the quarterback can't stop. There's a couple different ways to do this. The traditional way at running the 3-yard out and speed out right here, the quarterback would open and just take 2 flat steps, and if he likes that out right now, then he buzzes his feet and gets his shoulders pointed, gets his chest pointed to his target, and fires the ball in there right away. Then if he doesn't like that, he wants to go to his second read, the deeper read, then he opens at a 45, gets depth, and then he still wants to get his chest square to the target, fire his feet, throw, and we tell him to always follow the football with the throw. That way we know we've got an accurate throw, and it's easy to tell if they're doing the drill right. If they fall off to the side or they stop, then usually the ball's not a very good ball, and the technique is not very good. So in some of these you will see the quarterback open up 2 flat steps and get the ball out right away, or open up 2 flat steps, then get depth and start to roll out. If you elongate this route, which is what Tony has started doing now, to 5 or 7 yards, he goes ahead and opens up at a 45 and gets depth. But again, by his second or third step, he wants to be ready to throw to that first read. So here we've got a go. Got a go route by the outside receiver, so that's going to be the first read for him. So you'll see the quarterback take 2 flat and then get the ball out right away. And now we're going to go to the out route. So you'll see the quarterback, he goes ahead and opens up and gets depth. Like to see him get rid of the ball just a little bit faster. He opens up, gets depth, but he does do a good job of getting the ball up on his throat, gets his chest pointed to the target, buzzes his feet a little bit, gets the ball out, and then you can see that he follows the football with the throw. You'd like to see him get that out about right here where he's making his cut, where you know he's going to get his separation, get the ball out just a fraction sooner. We got the out route again. Again, you'll see the quarterback go ahead and get depth here. They elongated that route. Again, you'd like to see him get that out just a little bit sooner. But not bad. And now we've got the curl. So he'll read the out to the curl. Depth, roll out, read the out, then back down to the curl, or up to the curl. And on these curl routes, you never want the receiver to stand still on the curl route, and that gives this defender a chance to recover and come down hard on the curl and maybe knock the ball away or intercept it. So at the top of that curl, once he gets his depth, he still wants to work back to the quarterback. He doesn't ever want to stand still. So you see he starts to work back to the quarterback and look the ball all the way in. And you'll see the quarterback, he goes ahead and gets depth right here, right now. Opens at a 45, gets depth, goes through his reads, and you can see that he gets his shoulder square, or his chest square, and gets the ball out to the defender. Then we'll go to the left side. It's the same thing to the left side. Now here's the traditional old way from a high school team. So you'll see this quarterback take 2 flat steps right away, and then he's going to get the ball out to just a short 3-yard out route right away here. See, 1, 2, and then get the ball out right away. And give him a chance to run with it. And then here we have an out route from Louisiana Tech. As you can see, he gets depth off the bat, and we elongate that route. That out route's a lot deeper than the one we just saw from the high school team. Essentially the same thing, just going different depths. And then we come to the curl. So you'll see this quarterback go 2 flat. Now he gets depth, gets his gets his chest square to the target, fires his feet, throws, and you can see that he follows the football, which makes it an accurate throw. And then we have a backside drag, so the quarterback's going to read. And here we're in trips, so you would have the go, out, out, and then the deep drag here. Okay, so the quarterback's going to get to his 4th read here. So he reads the out, out, go, and then to the drag. All right, the hitch concept, or 66 if you want to go by numbers. Hitch, this is a mirrored route. You could do it, call it to one side or the other, especially if you're working with a younger group, middle school, freshman even maybe. Excuse me, but it's a mirrored route. So the quarterback would have to pick a side based on grass or matchup, and then his read is hitch, go, and then check down. Again, you could use the spot route here that we talked about earlier, but traditionally we use the check down. So outside receivers would be numbers are wider. Top of the numbers are wider. If you're going to be a 1-step drop quarterback, it's going to be a 6-yard. Usually it's a 6-yard hitch, and then works their way back downhill towards the quarterback. If you're going to be a 90s set, with the O-line, a deep set, and then a 3-step drop to the quarterback, then that needs to probably be at 8 or 9 yards on the hitch. So again, most of these are going to be a 1-step drop and a 6-yard hitch, but the outside receivers both have hitches, so they're going to be at 6-yard hitch. They're going to work for inside leverage, work to the inside shoulder pad of the defender, and then work back downhill towards the quarterback. Once they catch the ball, they want to drop step and get straight upfield as quickly as they can. You don't want to see these big looping deals to get back up the field. The inside receivers are going to run go routes, and these go routes are showing that there would be one single safety in the middle of the field. Okay, so they want to stem the whole defender, get through his outside pad, and then work up the hashes on both sides. Okay, if there were 2 safeties, and we'll show that to you here in a few minutes, if there were 2 safeties, once they get over top of that whole defender, they would actually start to bend that route in towards the middle a little bit, very slightly, as they still gain ground and work vertical. And then the F has the same check down rules, or spot rules if you wanted to run the spot, but would have the same check down rules, 1001, 1002, and then check down. If it's man, again, he'll break it in or break it out. If it's zone, he's just going to turn and face the quarterback. Again, the quarterback's going to pick a side based on grass or matchup. You know, if this is your best defender or best receiver versus their worst defender, then that and everything else is equal in the middle of the field, then that's where he would go. Uh, if this defender's playing 10 yards off and this defender's playing 3 yards off, obviously we would want to work over here with more grass. So that's how the quarterback wants to think about it. If he has a single safety or a low safety, feels like he can get a 2-on-1 with these inside go routes, he can skip the hitches. And what we teach him is try to look the safety to the one side and then throw back to the other. So if your H is your faster defender and he likes working against this one safety, as he takes his one-step drop, he would look to the Y over here. His eyes would go to the Y over here to try to move that safety with his eyes a little bit. Then he would fire his feet, and then he would come back and throw the ball to the H. Okay, so there's a couple different ways you can do this. That's why the progressions aren't really up there. So anyway, the true progression is hitch to the go to the check down, or the hitch to the go to the check down here. Okay, that's the true progression. So here we've got an outside hitch. Quarterback will take a one-step drop, fire his feet, and get the ball out onto the hitch as quickly as possible. Again, the hitch wants to get a 6-yard depth, work his way back to the quarterback, 6 yards, work his way back to the quarterback, then get straight up the field. And then we have the inside go. Again, the quarterback's going to take a one-step drop. He's going to read the hitch out here, doesn't like the hitch. He does have a single safety here, so then he will get the ball off to he should come to the outside shoulder here, work his way back up onto the hash, and then throw to the Y on the go route. One-step drop. And actually you can see where he looked off, he read just the inside go, so you can see the quarterback's eyes. He tries to move the safety who's already playing. He's already cheated to this hash over here. So he looks the safety off to the H, and then he comes back and throws to the Y. So you can see him look off, fire his feet, and then come back and throw to the Y. Now versus two high safeties, what we showed just a second ago, if you've got two safeties out here, the receivers are now, these inside receivers are just going to bend their routes. Okay, they just bend them in. They don't turn them into posts. They don't turn them into digs. They don't stop. They continue to get vertical. They just bend ever so slightly to get underneath those safeties. And then the quarterback is going to throw this inside go with two high safeties. There's no air on this ball at all. It's on a rope. Got to hit them in stride on a rope and hit them before they get to the safeties. And the way I teach them is I tell them, once these guys stem and get to the outside pad of this whole defender, once they're even with this whole defender or this outside linebacker, they're open, and then they're going to bend it right over top of them. So they need to hit them as soon as they get cleared, as soon as they clear that whole defender there. Again, we got a hitch here. Quarterback take one-step drop, fire his feet, get the hitch out quick, and as you can see, he moved him. The defender continued to keep inside leverage, so the quarterback threw him to the outside, throw him away from the near defender, and give him a chance to go make a play. Again, you can see the quarterback take the snap, take one-step drop, fire his feet, and get the ball out quick. One-step drop, fire his feet, and the ball's out quick. Now we have a bender, an inside go route with a bender. Again, you'll see this ball is on a rope. No air on that ball. Quarterback's going to read the hitch to the go, and you can see he's getting ready to throw now. As soon as he's even right here with that defender, he wants to throw it in this hole as he bends it before he gets to this safety here. So you'll see that the ball's out now. And then we have a check down. The quarterback's going to read, take one-step drop, hitch, go. He's in trouble, moves around, finds the back, and here we have a man check down. So he sets the defender up, stems him, works to his inside pad, and then breaks it outside here, or breaks it across the formation. And the quarterback gets the ball to him. So that's a man check down route there. Again, you can see it from here. 1001. Should be 1001, 1002. Check down, set him up. He sees it's man. He continues to move and work. And the quarterback gets in trouble, so he finds the back. Now, out of a 3-by-1 set, Nothing really changes as far as the progression goes. The only thing that changes is how we get to our second go route here. Okay, so we still have hitches on the outside. None of that changes. Depth is still the same. Still have check down by the F. That still stays the same. The go route by number 2 stays the same. Still going to stem that whole player, get through his outside pad, work to the hash. The only difference now is with the number 3 receiver on how we get him to the opposite hash, how we get him to the other side of the field. And what we do is we run what we call our USOM route, which stands for under Sam, over Mike. Okay, and then Sam to us is the first linebacker out of the box. Okay, Mike is the next linebacker in the box. All right, that's how we determine Sam and Mike. So to make it work with this drawing, we would say here's Sam. Okay, here's Mike. So as that receiver, or as he releases, he's going to get underneath Sam. Mike's going to drop a little bit, so he's going to work to get over Mike. And when he gets to Mike, he wants to snap that off over top of Mike. And that's the timing of the play. The ball should be thrown right here if we're going to throw that route. He wants to snap it off, and then what he wants to do now is he just wants to run to grass. Okay, so as he snaps off this route, as he gets to the top of Mike and he snaps it off over top of Mike, he wants to look for grass. So if there's a linebacker that's hooked up here, obviously he wants to continue. He wants to run to grass, which might take him a little deeper. If there's a safety sitting back here, no reason to run there. I can snap it off and work flat to downhill. Okay, so once he gets over Mike and he goes to snap this off, he just finds the grass and he can work down to the grass, he can work up to the grass, or he can stay flat to the grass. It doesn't matter. He just has to get over Mike, has to get over this Mike linebacker, snap it, look for the ball, and then find the grass. Okay, quarterback, same thing. He's going to read, if he wants to read from the left side, he would read hitch to go to check down. Okay, or he can read hitch, go, check down. And again, if he really likes this grass, or we've only got one safety, he may skip the hitches altogether and just read the goes. Okay, this crossing route is good out of trips, because a lot of times you do get a lot of grass over here. So if you can read this hitch, and if this guy can get across fast enough, if you do need a speedy receiver to run this crossing route, and somebody that's not afraid to go across the middle. If he's a big, slow, lumbering, true tight end type kid, not the best, especially in this play, because it just takes too long for it to develop to get the ball to him. It's okay to run it. He can still clear some people out and maybe open something up for this guy, but not great for him himself to get him open. So here we are in 3x1, and going to run the hitch to the single receiver side. And as you notice, this is Murray State, and they run hitches with everybody, so this is a little bit different. But I did just want to see the single receiver side hitch out of this. So you'll see he does get his depth, one step drop, fire the feet. You would like to see him come back downhill a little bit, not just stand still. As you can see that corner starts to close on him, but catch and then get straight up the field. He does do a pretty good job of getting straight up the field. Here we've got the crossing route. So the quarterback should read hitch here and then read the crosser coming from the other side. Read the hitch to the crosser. You see him get, there was no Mike, so he went ahead and got over. Mike disappeared, so he got over. He went ahead and got over the backer that tried to jump inside and play Mike. And then here we have the second go. So we should have under Sam, over Mike here, and then we've got two safeties, so we get through the outside pad and bend here. Okay. One other key coaching point. He tried to expand. The receiver tried to work through his outside pad, but this defender kept trying to expand him. So what he did though is he did open him up a bunch of grass inside here. So after he worked him and tried to get to his outside, but he just kept giving up, kept taking the outside leverage. He went ahead and snapped it across his face, which is fine because he geffed it. He didn't just initially come inside and let this guy squeeze him and cut all this grass out. He did push him wide, or make this guy widen and widen, and then he snapped it across his face when he bent it. As you can see, snaps it right across his face and then runs the bend. And then we have the check down. 1001, 1002, go to check down, quarterback reads hitch to the go, and then comes down to the check down. And this is again out of empty, but this is with Murray State, and they're just running hitches with all of their guys, which is something that some guys do. Some tags off of this, which would be hitch and go or 66 and go. And the way we teach that is two different ways. One is if you're going to take the one-step drop with the quarterback, we're going to shorten this hitch to 5 yards, and then we're actually going to turn, show the hitch just like we always do. Okay, they can turn, flash the eyes and the hands, and then just drop step and get straight up the field. Or they can do, and I've got a picture of it here in a few minutes, of what we call the whirly bird, where they'll stick it at 5 and then they just do a circle and then take off and go up the field again, and still want to get up the top of the numbers. Key is, if you've got aggressive corners, okay, you got aggressive corners that you know are going to come down hard, you just got to shorten this route to 5, show the hitch, and then get by them. Okay, make them bite. The inside routes stay the same, nothing changes. The check down stays the same, nothing changes. For the quarterback, he's going to take a one-step drop. He's going to pump fake with 2 hands, and usually just uses the shoulders unless he's got huge hands and can pump fake with that, then that's fine. But if he's got just normal size or small hands, keep 2 hands on the ball and just pump with the shoulders. After that, he wants to shuffle, which means he doesn't cross over with his feet, keeps them nice and wide, but just shuffles 2 steps to get a little bit more depth, because the offensive line is going to be giving up a little bit of ground at that point. Then get the ball out. Okay, if you're playing a team that has really good safeties, you may pump to the opposite side that you actually want to throw to. Okay, just if they do have really good safeties that can recover really well, so they may pump to the opposite side, because really the pump fake is just to get the corner to come down. So here we have, we're going to have it up top. You'll see the quarterback pump, and then he'll reset his feet. So he'll pump, shuffle, set his feet, throw nice and high to the outside. And as you see the hitch, he shortens it. Should turn just a little bit more, show the hands and the eyes a little bit better than that, but then he still got that corner to bite and was able to get by him. Same thing here. See the quarterback pump. Quarterback pumps. And we got 2 safeties, so he sees the safety trying to help over top, so he tries to throw it in the hole, and almost back shoulder throws him on that, but still turns out to be a good play. Now here we have the whirly bird, what we call the whirly bird. So you'll notice when he runs his hitch, he'll do a full circle and then he'll take off, which a lot of times sells it better. If your kids are real impatient and they don't really want to set up the hitch and really show the hitch, then make them do the full turn, because that makes them at least show their hands and their eyes all the way back to the quarterback. So you see the quarterback pump and then get it over the outside shoulder. So you'll see him do his whirly bird, gets here, shows it, spins out, gets past the corner, and quarterback lays it up nice and high over the outside shoulder. And we got one more here. See a quarterback with big hands, can pump fake with 1 hand. He pumps and then gets it over the outside shoulder. A slant is the next play in the Quick Gamer 60 series. It's also called 67 if you want to go with the numbers, so it's either slant or 67. Again, this is a mirrored route like hitch. So the quarterback basically just picks a side, picks grass, and it can be read from inside to outside or outside to inside. Really doesn't matter. If you do use a 3-step slant with both inside and outside receivers, then it really doesn't matter. If you're going to be a 1-step inside slant, team, then probably need to read inside to outside, just because if not, you won't have time to come back to this inside slant. I prefer, especially in high school, to have three-step slants on all of it. So again, this is a one-step play for the quarterback. 60 set for the quarter or for the O-line, unless you want to go with the one set and go 90s. But the quarterbacks are still going to take a one step. They need to get this out quickly. And again, you just look for grass. Okay, look for leverage and look for grass. Where's the grass? Is it in here? We'll throw to the outside. If it's in here, we'll throw to the inside, and vice versa to the other side. But we still want to push it up 3 and then bring it inside. And again, if there's a lot of grass here, then we'll let these guys, what we call, gear it down, which means they just jog more than sprint. We don't want them to sprint into a big hit. Okay, so they can just jog. Now, difference here with the F right now, we want him to be a 3-second check down. A lot of guys like to swing him. I don't really like that, because as the quarterback's reading, he might see grass right here. As this guy swings, he may take somebody with him and put him right in the throwing lane. So I don't like the swing out of it. I do like the check down, but it needs to be a 3-second check down instead of a 2-second check down. 1001, 1002, 1003, then go check down. So that's what that needs to be. So here we'll show just a few slants. Again, here's the inside slant. Quarterback will be one step. He's looking for grass. He likes this grass right here better than any place else he sees on the field, either based on defender, maybe based on receiver, okay, in that matchup, or just purely based on grass. He just may think he's got more grass there. Excuse me. Again, they want to catch and get the ball straight up the field. Another inside slant. 1, 2, 3, stick it and get up the field. Another inside slant to the other side, and that's a one-step slant here. Quarterback could catch and throw. One step and get it inside. Now slant to the outside. Again, here got to work for. You can tell here that the defender's got inside leverage, so he's going to have to work hard to break that leverage down, get inside, drive him up 3, and then stick his slant. He works in 1, 2, 3. He doesn't really work hard to get straight up. He doesn't work hard to get up the field and stick this route. He basically just gets into his slant right now. If you've got really fast kids and they're small, sometimes they're better at just doing this. I'd rather see him stick him, work him, stick him, try to drive him up the field 3 steps, then stick that route and go. Try to break his leverage down. But if he's really fast and can just run by him, then this works sometimes too. And then here's a check down. 1001, 1002. Should be a little bit slower on that check down, but he was at least at 2 seconds. And then out of trips, again, you can do a couple of different things here out of trips. And a lot of it's based on just game plan or personnel, but you can do a couple of different things. You can have everybody slant just like this. You can also you can work a vertical route with one of these inside receivers to try to clear out. Try to clear out for one of these outside slants, however you prefer. But basically the same thing, same rules. Still going to look for grass or leverage or matchup. Here we're going to go to the inside, furthest inside, number 3 receiver here. One step, fire the feet, and get the ball out. Now go to number 2. And again, you can see he's got inside leverage, he's got outside leverage. So you can look at this guy or this guy, and then figure out where your grass is. With his outside leverage right here, there's already grass right there, so it's a good pre-snap read. 1, 2, 3, stick it, and as you can see, he gears it down because he knows he's got grass in here. He gears it down a little bit. He doesn't sprint into this big hit right here. Catches and then gets straight up the field. And now to the single receiver side. 1, 2, 3, drive up, and again you can see that he gears this down. 1, 2, 3, gears it down, and then tries to get straight up the field. '68, or stick, or Y stick, but the stick concept is what it's commonly known as, is probably the most widely used play, one of the more simple plays that's in the package, and probably one of the most effective plays overall. I know it's been my favorite play for many years. Ran it at, I would imagine, at least 6 to 8 times a game, and I could probably have run it more, and I'm sure there were games when we did. And the good thing about it is it's a good blitz beater, but it's also good against any coverage. It's not a great long yardage play, but it's still good against any coverage, and there's been many times that the short pass has turned into a big play. So it's still a good play regardless of coverage again. So it's one that I always spent a lot of time on and made sure that it was something that we used a lot. The progression is we're going to pre-snap the go, and then we got pre-snap slants on the backside as well. Excuse me, and then the main progression is stick, arrow, check down, and then there's a couple variations to that, but we want to read stick to arrow to check down. And the stick route is basically a 5-yard route unless you're making it a 3-step drop by the quarterback. Then you want to make it a 7 to 8-yard route. With the 1-step drop, 5 yards seems to time up perfectly with the quarterback taking a 1-step, firing his feet and getting the ball out. A couple different ways you can run the stick. Here what we're showing, the stick actually wants to chase the inside hip of the whole player. So even if he were to widen, he would chase him, and at 5 yards he would turn and sit down. Okay, and that's the stick route. He wants to just chase the inside hip of the whole player, get to his depth, and then turn and face the quarterback. All right, there's a different way to do that, in the fact that the play was originally developed for true tight end, and the tight end was taught to go straight up the field 5 yards, and if it was open, if there was nobody there, just sit. If he was going to get banged, if somebody was trying to jump him, then he just breaks it outside and turns it into basically a little whip route. So he'd work up 5 yards. If he's going to get collisioned or get covered, then he would break it outside and turn it into an out route. But his aiming point again is if he were a true tight end, straight up the field and then read it from there. So a lot of people will tighten the Y down to within 2 to 3 yards of the tackle and send him to that same landmark, or where a tight end would have gone straight up the field, and then read that. If it's open again, if it's vacated, then just turn and sit, which happens a lot. If not, then break it back outside and turn it into an out route. If you've got a big physical player, even if there is a backer in here that wants to bang, he may just post him up like a post player in basketball, and then the quarterback just throws to his outside hip, and you still get a good play out of it. More commonly right now, though, guys are leaving the Y or the stick route runner 7 to 8 to 9 yards wide from the tackle now, and just chasing the inside hip of the whole player and running it that way. The only downside to that, as far as I'm concerned, is that it takes the F out of the play a lot of times, because the wider the Y has to run his route, the F is running his route, and then you've got one defender that can cover both. So that's why I think in high school it's an easier, simpler play with the Y in tight, and then the F runs his arrow route, and now this whole player a lot of times has a big decision to make on who he wants to cover. Does he want to chase and truly go play the flats, or does he want to try to jump the Y on the stick? Okay, the go route by the Z is a mandatory outside release, which means no questions asked, have to get outside, have to go through the outside shoulder pad of the defender, and if I have to collision him, I have to collision him, but I have to turn him away from the stick route or the arrow route that's coming to him, so that I don't set them up for a big hit. So again, mandatory outside release, then get back on top of the numbers and work your go route. The arrow route, really the F should cheat up and be out here about on the outside leg of the tackle. and should cheat up a step. If he's even with the quarterback, he should be a full step in front of him. And at this for this route, and this is a free release route. He doesn't check at all on this one, so this is the first time we've done this on a free release route. And the arrow is just like that. It's if you shot an arrow out of bounds 2 to 3 yards across the line of scrimmage, that would be his aiming point. So he would immediately turn and run at that angle, okay, and run in a straight line at that angle. And typically I'll set a cone out when I'm teaching this. Set a cone out at 2 or 3 yards on the sideline and just say, hey, that's your route, and you just sprint to that cone. And then the quarterback would throw the ball to the backfield shoulder. Okay, so the F is actually going to look back over. In this case, he would look over his right shoulder, and the quarterback would throw him the ball over his right shoulder here. Okay, a little bit different. We don't lead him up the field on this. Okay. Now, one thing that you will see on here is, especially if the Y is going to be wider here like this, and he is chasing the inside hip of the whole player to where the stick is a wider route and is not more inside the box, then you'll see what we call a Swede route. The F 5 steps flat and then starts to bend it towards the numbers and start to gain some ground. And a lot of times you can get, at least the quarterback gets a clearer picture because there's more space between the stick and the Swede route. We call this a Swede route. There's more space between that than there is between the stick and the arrow if you're going to play them out wider like that. Okay. This play is a lot more effective the faster the quarterback can make his read, make his decision, and because typically the stick or the arrow are open more times than not. One or the other is going to be open. If the quarterback can find that quickly and just make a catch and throw, then the play becomes a lot more effective. And again, on the backside, again, I prefer a 3-step slant with the inside receiver in high school. And again, as he runs his slant, if he were to get towards the center, he would go ahead and work his check down. If he doesn't get the ball right off the line, he would want to work that into a check down somewhere in the box there. And then on the outside, we've got our three-step slant as well. Okay, so let's look at some of these. Here we've got the pre-snap go. We'll get press coverage here. State championship game here on a 4th down, and got zero coverage. So obviously the grass is deep. Quarterback sees that. This is a good matchup. This is their best receiver, and he sees that that's the best matchup. So on the snap, takes a 1-step drop, fires the feet, gets the ball high and outside. You would like to see this receiver try to work more into leaning back up into the numbers, because the quarterback really doesn't have much room to mess up right here when he's right there on the sideline like he is. But he does kind of restack the defender and creates a little separation there at the end and is able to haul the play in for a touchdown. Again, here's another go route. We're going to run stick to the left this time, but so we have the arrow here and the stick here. We get another go outside, and again, he should go through this shoulder pad if he has to physically collision him and turn him away from the arrow and the stick coming to him. But again, should take a 1 or 3-step drop. Takes a 1-step drop, gets that ball over the outside shoulder. The one good thing he does is he maintains leverage with the defender, leans on the defender, and then at the last second he comes off and separates. So again, want to be covered early, open late. Now we have a backside slant. So again, quarterback doesn't like any of this on the front side. He forgets that, and this can become the front side. And again, he just wants to read the grass. And what the quarterback sees here right now is he sees all this grass right here, and he knows that slant will occupy that grass. So as long as he stems and gets inside leverage on that whole player, which he does, then he's got all kinds of grass to work in. Again, got another inside slant. Sorry, I think this slant's going to come from over here, and it does. So we've got lots of grass again in here. He sees showing blitz here, so he sees the grass. Again, the safeties are down low, so as long as he gets inside leverage on this safety, got plenty of grass. Quarterback 1 step, get the ball out, good play. So again, got the outside slant. It's actually over here. and you can see that he's leaning inside a little bit. He likes this grass, plus this guy's playing soft. So again, the quarterback forgets the front side, and makes this backside the front side, and is going to read this slant to the backside. Again, lots of grass, and if you notice, he gears it down. He gets to the top of the route, and he kind of gears it down and jogs instead of sprints in here for a big hit. So watch how he gears it down. 1, 2, 3 stick, and then he gears it down, catches the ball, and then gets straight up the field. Now we go to the stick. And as you can see, the F here, he is cheated up and cheated out. He's on this outside leg of the tackle. He's cheated up a step in front of the quarterback now, you can see, and his release would take him here just like this. Okay, but first the F's going to chase this outside, or chase this inside leg or hip of this whole player. So even if he expands, he would expand with him and work off his inside hip. As he does expand a little bit, so he comes outside with him a little bit, then he works back to his inside hip, and we've got a good play. One thing you'd want to see him do right here is just take that right foot, drop step, and get straight up the field instead of working back into the middle of the field. Again, another stick here. As you can see, the whole player showing blitz right now, but then he bails out, so he still chases his inside hip and works his stick off that inside hip. And still got a lot of room there. You can see what the quarterback sees. He sees all this grass, which is what we always want. And there's the stick that occupies that grass. Okay, now we got the arrow. And again, the arrow is a free release, and you can see how much the back is cheated up in front of the quarterback, and he's wider. He should be on the outside leg of the tackle. The Y should be working inside hip here. Should go through the outside shoulder pad here, and then we get the arrow route coming right through here. And again, you can see how that works. Lots of grass here for the arrow route. And the quicker the quarterback can read that and get the ball out, the better off the play is. Now here's a Swede route. Again, we want to go flat for 5 and then start to gain ground towards the numbers. Okay, then if you were to get upfield at 5 yards before you get the ball, just turn and sit. Okay. So again, we're going to read the stick. Going to read the stick to the Swede, which you can see all the grass here right now, so throwing to the Swede is an easy read. And then out of a 3x1, there's a couple different ways you can do this. This is the most common. Still run the stick with the Y, still at 5 yards doing the same thing. Then we would just run a speed out, a 3 to 5 yard speed out with quick out with the number 2 receiver. Outside receiver still has his same mandatory outside release go rules, and then the backside slant stays the same. And now the F, now he would move opposite of the trips, and he has a check down that he would run now too. So basically the reads don't change for the quarterback. He's still reading stick, and if you think about it, if the F had been in the backfield and was running the arrow, he would still be in the same general vicinity. So really the reads are about the same for the quarterback. The eyes still work the same way, so he's still reading stick to the out here, okay, then to his check down. Okay, so the same thing as if he was reading stick, arrow, check down. Okay, he's just reading stick, out, check down now. And here we have the backside slant. As you can see, he's buying a little bit of time. He knows he's got grass. He gears it down and gets a nice throw from the quarterback. Again, you'll see the quarterback take a one-step drop, fire his feet, and get the ball out quickly. Now we got the stick route. You can see that the whole player disappeared. He got blitz off the edge. He gets his 5 yards and just turns and sits. He should stem the outside pad and then work to the outside. One thing Just another little coaching point here. This receiver here, remember, he wants to go outside, and if he needs to he needs to collision this corner and turn him away from the out route coming underneath. And as you watch, he doesn't necessarily get the collision that he should, and doesn't get the turn that he should get. Here he should dip his shoulder. He should dip his shoulder right now, collision this outside pad, and force this corner to open up to the sideline, and he doesn't do that here. He just runs by him. So now you can see that if the quarterback were to throw the out, if he were to throw the out right here, he would take a big hit. Again, another stick. And one thing out of trips that is a good idea is to just play action the trips. And really, it's not much of a play action. The quarterback doesn't have time to show the ball or ride the fake or anything, but just like with the fast screen, just have the F line up to the trip side, make a huge pocket, and just fake the zone or stretch away, and then he can still run his check down to the opposite side. Because what that will do a lot of times, we'll get flow with these middle backers, or we'll bring them up, and that way you get a lot of room in here for your stick route. It opens the stick route up really well. And that's kind of what you get right here. You'll see the F come across and make the play fake, and the quarterback's able to get the stick off pretty quick. He does show it. I don't recommend showing it like they do here. This quarterback does show the ball, especially in high school. I would just have the back make the play fake himself and sell it himself. And as you can see, had he just taken the ball and thrown it and not made the play fake, not shown the ball to the F here, he would have had more grass to throw the stick in. Still worked out well. Still a good play. And now to the out. So it'd be stick out, check down. So now we go to the out route. So stick, out, and then we'd come back down to the check down. And now here, out of trips, here's a nice little wrinkle. Works really well a lot of times. Now we've taken the H, instead of the H being here and running the out route, we've taken the H and put him inside the Y, and we're just going to run him either on the out route. You can still run him on the out route, or we're going to run him on the arrow route from here. Okay, just helps to cross up the defense a little bit. Okay, just give them a different look. Now we've got the arrow from the number 3 receiver, and then the stick with number 2 receiver. Okay, just another little change up here. And again, you could play action this if you wanted to. But you'll see the stick here with number 2, and then just got the out route. They did run the out route with number 3 instead of the arrow. And again, nice little change up. And then here's the arrow out of it. So you'll see the stick route, chase the inside hip here. See him chase the inside hip here and create space. Real easy read for the arrow right here. Be lots of grass. Again, you'll see the arrow route there. Good, stick, arrow. Okay, now really only have a couple of tags. Really only one tag that we kind of work with off of the stick route, and that is with the dig tag here. And what we do is really just trying to high-low this whole defender. So I'm going to read the stick to the dig. Okay, so if the whole defender wants to jump the stick, then we're going to throw the dig in behind it. If he wants to run with the dig, then we'll throw the stick underneath it. So really, to run this, we're going to have the stick route runner chase the inside hip of the whole defender, and the dig route runner is going to run through the outside hip or the outside pad of the whole defender. So we're really going to put him in a bind. So he just has to decide whether he wants to jump the stick or run with the dig. Okay, and that's all we're trying to do is high-low him. Now the other thing that we've done a lot of times is we put the F to the same side as the trips and still run the arrow or run the sweep over here, and we would read stick, dig, and then sweep or arrow route. And then you still have your pre-snap slant to the back side, and now you've got a pre-snap go or post to the front side. and it's a nice play that's resulted in some really big plays for Tony at especially at middle, and then at LaTeX some too. But I like putting the F to the trip side, and again running him on a Swede route or on an arrow route. Okay, so here we get the post to the play side as a pre-snap read, and you can see all the grass back here. Safeties are down low, got zero coverage, and so the quarterback sees zero. He likes the matchup, so he's able to go deep on the pre-snap read and keeps him skinny with the throw, keeps him on the hash. Works out well. Now we come to the dig. So we're going to read the stick, and as you'll see, both of these routes are going to attack this defender right here. So you'll read the stick to the dig, and you'll see that he hangs with the stick and opens up the dig. And you can see that this linebacker jumps the stick as well. This linebacker jumps the stick, and that opens up all this grass in here for the dig. And again here, as you can see now, working inside hip, working outside hip, and you can see this linebacker coming to jump the stick as well. And again, you can see how all this is going to open up in the middle. One more time. Same thing. Both attacking the same defender, working inside hip, working outside hip. And again, you can see the linebacker coming to help out on the stick route. And again, look at all the grass in the middle of the field. Same thing from the right side. Again, got zero coverage. He is starting to rotate, but again, if we throw it skinny and keep him on the hash, we should be okay. We do. And then to the stick, again, going to chase the inside hip. And real easy read here now for the first time since we've been showing this. You'll see that everybody drops. Everybody's dropping. So there's all kinds of grass underneath, so still a real easy read here. Again, we're just going to high-low this guy right here. He bails, so now we know we're going low. We got the underneath route. Now we got the dig here on the goal line, inside the red zone. One thing he did different here is just because this safety jumped him at the last second, he did wind up having to work to the outside pad on the dig route, which is fine. That's the way we teach a dig a lot of times, especially off of the shallows that we went over earlier, and then cuts his dig across into the end zone. The one great thing that he did is, if you watch, he runs through contact. Watch him dip the shoulder right here. Dips the shoulder, gets great pad level, shows his back to the defender, rips through, and then is able to run his dig route and find grass. Same thing here. Only this time we're running the dig now with the outside receiver instead of the inside receiver. So we're still going to read stick to dig, but now we got the out that we could come down to instead of the other way around that we had it a few seconds ago. So here we're going to read the stick first, and again the dig's coming from the outside now instead of the number 2 receiver. It's coming from the number 1 receiver. So we read the stick. Stick's open. Go ahead and throw the stick. Don't bypass an open receiver. And now we got the dig. So we'll read the stick to the dig. Still we're high-low. So we're going to high-low this guy, and as you can see, he jumps the stick and comes down. Got all this grass here now for the dig to come across, and able to get the dig in there. And that. And the last concept in the quick game series is 69 or Y corner or quick high low. It's gone by all three names. It's not a play that's used very often by a lot of people, basically because you can get people to the same parts of the field with some other plays. So if you're a small school um, and you don't have a lot of practice time, this is probably not one of the quick game plays that you need to work with very much, if at all. Probably wouldn't recommend using it at all if you were at a small school and had kids that had to play both ways all the time. So probably not even use it. But if you do have a good Y or good inside receivers that can run good corner routes, it is a good play. But as you look at it here in a second, you'll see that there's a couple different plays that can get you in the same spots of the field, like I said before. So anyway, the way you read it is you read the deep route, which is either a corner or a post, to a spot route, which is a little bit, it's the same concept as the spot route by the F, but it's run by an outside receiver. So it's we call it a spot as well because it's run off of the whole player, just like it is out of the backfield. To the Swede route, which we've talked about by the F, which means he has another free release route here, so he doesn't check on this one. And then we have a check down to the backside, be it via slant, or if you're in a two back, could just be the back out of the backfield. So this is what it looks like. Again, your first read is going to be the corner. It's usually always a corner route unless we tag the post, okay? But it's always the deep route as our first read. And in this case, it's going to be the Y on the corner here, or it could be on the post if we tag it that way. All right, and our spot route now is run by the outside receiver. There is a couple little nuances to this spot route. Again, just like when we run it out of the backfield by the F, we still want to replace the whole player with the outside receiver. So we still, if this is the whole player, we want to replace him. And so in order to do that, we don't want this Z in this case to be any more than 7 yards from that Y. So we want to cheat him in a little bit, get him close enough that he can get there. Again, his depth is at 5 yards on this route, and we just want to replace that whole player. So if the whole player is standing here, he wants to just chase and go replace his inside hip right there. Okay, if the whole player sits there or tries to bang or play this spot route, then the receiver would just turn it into a whip route, and he'd just whip it back outside and turn it into a man route. Okay, so that's his man version of that. So again, he's going to sprint in here, replace this whole player. If he disappears, he just sits and faces the quarterback. If the whole player tries to play that or bang on him, then he breaks it outside and turns it into an out route. The F, free release Swede, again, five steps flat, and then he can start to gain ground, and his aiming point is towards the numbers. So even as he's gaining ground, he's gaining width at the same time. Okay, again, the quarterback on this, his drop's going to be a little bit different. Even if you're a if you're a pure 90 set team on all your quick game stuff, then he can just 3-step drop this and be fine. If you're a traditional 1-step quarterback drop and a 60 set O-line, then what you want to do is take a 1-step drop by the quarterback and read this deep route, and if you like it, throw it right away. If not, then you want to shuffle. So we want to go open shuffle on this to get a little bit of depth, because this route takes a little bit longer to develop. So so the drop changes just a little bit by the quarterback. And again, on the backside here, we've got slants on the backside, and as always, the inside slant, be it a 1-step or a 3-step slant, will never cross the center. If he gets into that tackle box, he just looks for some grass and sits it down, and that becomes our check down. So we've got the deep route to the spot route to the Swede route to the check down is our progression. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 is our progression there. And as you can see here, not a whole lot different than the stick route, now, which is why I say that this is not a route you need to spend a lot of time on unless you just have a really good corner route runner, a really good superstar that's an inside receiver for you. Then you may want to play with it. But if you think about it, you got a stick route in here like you do with your Y on the stick concept. You've got somebody occupying this outside third with the corner like you would with the go route by the Z on stick, and then you've got a free release arrow or Swede by your F just like you do on stick. So again, if you're at a small school, probably not something you want to mess with, but it can be an effective play, and it is a good goal line play. So again, that's how you run it. The big key thing is to make sure that the Z and the Y in this case are no more than 7 yards apart, because you do want that. You do want him to be able to get into that spot route as quickly as possible and make it time up so that by the time the quarterback is off of this corner route, his eyes are right there on that spot route and he's there ready for the ball. Here is here's a slant to the backside here on 69, or quick high low. And again, you can see what the quarterback sees on pre-snap. He sees all that grass, so he completely forgets the front side and gets the ball out to the backside quickly. Now we have the front side read. We're going to read the corner first. And with our corner routes, the rule on all our corner routes are this: you're going to break this at 10 yards, and if we're outside the 25-yard line, which we are here, his aiming point would be to the front pylon of the end zone. So if that were the end zone and that's where that front pylon sat, then his aiming point would be, when he stuck this at 10 yards, he would want to run, he would want to sprint that right at that front pylon. That would be his aiming point, and that's where the quarterback would want to throw it, and that way they're on the same page on the path of the ball, on the path of the route. The other thing about the corner route is, on the stick or a post route, on the stick, tell the receiver to sprint three steps before he looks for the ball, and then when he looks for the ball, look up. Don't look back to the quarterback, look up, because the ball's already in the air. If they look back immediately on the stick, they slow down and give this guy a chance to recover. So sprint 3 steps after the stick, then look up for the ball. Okay, so here we go with the corner route. So the quarterback here takes a 1.5 step drop there and gets the corner route out quick. And you can see here, now I always say, remember, we want our aiming point is going to be to the front pylon here if we're outside the 25. If we do have somebody that's playing over top, it's the quarterback's job to throw that receiver open. So what you'll see here is when he runs this route, the receiver actually, or the quarterback actually throws him more to the sideline. That's fine, but you don't want to waste a bunch of practice time trying to work on getting the receiver to start bending corner routes and that kind of thing out. If he'll run his route at the same way all the time, and then the quarterback can just throw him open. Okay, so what you see here is this quarterback just throws him open. That safety kind of runs with him there. He could play over top, or that backer does. It turns and runs with him, so he can throw him open by throwing him more to the sideline there. But again, good read by the quarterback. He sees the grass. He sees the grass back here. He likes that grass and gets the ball out to him quick. You can see the quarterback, 1, 2, 3, quick. Again, the O-line here is 90 set instead of a 60 set, so the quarterback takes a 3-step drop, but that's still his first read, and he gets it out on the 3rd step. So here we're on the spot route. Again, you see the width between the Y and the Z here is not very much, probably maybe 5 yards on this one. And again, he wants to chase and replace the inside hip of this whole player right here. So the quarterback's going to read the corner to the spot. 1, 2, 3, corner, spot, and as you can see, that whole player left, so now there's just grass here, so now he just sits. And you can also see here, you can see that this flat defender sees the F, and he tries to go play the F, which gives us even more grass right here. Now we can go make a play. See the quarterback again, 3-step drop. 1, 2, 3, corner, spot. And then here's the Swede. 1, 2, 3, corner. Don't like the corner, and he sees that he's getting chased here by the spot. They're playing pure man. He probably could have hung on this. There's a lot of grass out here. He could have thrown to if he hung on it a little bit, but he was taking the easy throw. He sees that the corner's chasing the spot route inside here, so there's still a lot of grass right out here. Nice, easy, quick throw. Comes off his read quick, throws the Swede right away, and got a big play out of it. Again, watch it full speed. Corner, spot, sees grass open, throws it to the Swede right now. And we're going to the left side. And here's a slant to the backside again. Quarterback comes up pre-snap. He sees blitz coming off the edge, so he sees grass. He sees this grass open up, so he likes the slant right away. And then we come back to the play side to the corner. 1, 2, 3. Get the ball out. And as you can see, you'd like to see this receiver stem him and lean on him just a little bit more to get a little bit more separation, but he does break down his leverage. But the most important thing that you can see on this is that at the top of the route, you can see that he runs 3 steps, then his eyes go up for the ball. It doesn't go back, they go up for the ball. See him stick, 1, 2, 3. Now his eyes go up for the ball and goes and makes the catch. Good job on that route. Now we have the spot route. Again, want to replace this whole player right here. Go to replace his inside hip right away. And you can see also the splits have been cut down here. He's not all the way out on the numbers. Read the corner, spot, everybody disappeared, got lots of grass, easy read. The only thing he did wrong, he does wrong here. Again, remember now the quarterback wants to throw him away from the nearest defender. He does. He throws him to the outside. He should just turn, drop, step, turn, and get straight up the field here instead of cutting it across the field laterally. So again, catch, turn, and get straight up the field. Good route, just need to finish it. Again, you'll see the quarterback's drop. 1, 2, 3, corner, spot, there it is, get it out, and he needs to get straight up the field again. And here's a sweep route to the left side. At corner, spot, got the sweep out quick. He got pressure. Plus he sees all this grass here, so he gets the sweep out quick. Alright, out of a 3-by-1 set, again, everybody's going to wind up in the same spot. So nothing changes for the quarterback, and really nothing changes for the only thing that changes now is if we go trips, depending on who you put in here, is this number 2. And actually, I like it better if the number 3 receiver runs the bubble, but it's still just as effective as if the is number 2. Okay, but do it either way. But you're still going to wind up, somebody's still going to be in the same spots of the field. Okay, so you still have your corner route, nothing changes there. Still got your spot route, nothing changes there. We're still going to have somebody over here occupying the flat. Okay, it's just a matter of how they get there. And again, I like it better if this H was inside the Y. If we were in what we call hit, trips right hit or early hit, put the H inside the Y, and then he can run his bubble from there. The one thing I like about that too is the timing of it's a little bit better from the inside position than it is from the number 2 position, because he kind of starts to run out of real estate over here as the quarterback gets to him in progression in trouble, or he just sees grass open up quick. But either way, got people in the same spot, and progression stays the same. Everything is good. The only difference on the bubble here, the receiver wants to open up at a 45, cross over on a 45, then on that third step level off and stay level or stay flat until the quarterback throws him upfield. Here's what you would like to have happen. Again, that's why I would like for him to have a little bit more room and be as an inside receiver over here when they do it. But here we'll have got a post tag on this one instead of the corner, because we got 0 coverage, nobody in the middle of the field. So we get a post tag, so it should be 1, 2, 3, throw the post, 1, 2, 3, get the post out. Good job there. And then now we got the spot route. Again, want to replace the whole player's inside hip at 5 yards depth. Cut our splits down a little bit. Let the deep route, one other coaching point right here. Always, if he's on the ball here, he's on the line of scrimmage, and he's off the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter. If you've got a short route or an inside route, and somebody inside of you has a deep route, always let the deep route guy go first. So you'll see him buzz his feet and kind of hesitate and let the deep route go. Then go replace then go replace the hole player. And in this case, you can see the hole player kind of sat there, and the receiver did a nice job of just finding the grass and going and settling where all the grass was. So you can see the hole player he got replaced by this backside backer came across, replaces the hole player. Uh, Receiver sees that, but he sees lots of grass in here, so he does a nice job being a football player and just kind of goes to the grass and then sets down, and the quarterback's able to find him and make a big play out of it. And then here's the bubble. Again, we do it. Here's the bubble done by the number 3 receiver instead of the number 2 receiver like the drawing was, but same effect. So you got the corner to the spot to the bubble. Okay, and as you can see, you know, there was grass here to start with. He sees him closing, but there's grass still open out here, so he comes off of that and goes to the bubble. And that is 6